Welcome to Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast, the podcast that empowers you to turn your dreams into reality using the law of attraction. I'm your host, Papi DiNuzzo, and together we'll dive into the mindset, strategies, and energy shifts you need to create the life you've always envisioned. Whether it's health, wealth, happiness, love, relationships, or spirituality, inspired by my transformative book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, each episode brings you practical tools, inspiring stories, and bold insights to unlock your limitless potential. Get ready to manifest your greatness, and let's dive in.
Give a fish, teach to fish, delivering hope. A Paying It Forward self-improvement and personal development charitable community outreach initiative, founded, supported, and funded by DiNuzzo Private Wealth Incorporated. I love that message that we help others by not only giving, but also teaching. I think that is when a person truly has hope, is when they can do something for themselves. And I am so happy that I'm able to be a part of this, to spread this message to the universe. And I want to thank you all for joining us today to hear this message of hope and inspiration. And if you're looking for an inspirational speaker, please book Papi to speak to your organization, or book him to speak for free to your nonprofit group that would love to hear his message of hope, inspiration, abundance, and peace of mind. And now let's go over to Papi to help us set the table today. Good morning, Papi. How are you doing?
Hey, Mikey, thank you so much. Thanks to you and Suzanne for setting everything up and for making everything run so well. Yeah, I want to say to the audience, namaste. The spirit in me greets the spirit in you. There's no higher salutation or greeting that we can offer each other. The spirit in one of us greeting the spirit in another. So the spirit in me greets the spirit in you. And I just think, Mikey, we talk, and you've heard me say so many times, I'm just so happy and grateful now that today is a magnificent day. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have painted my masterpiece today. And all of you have painted your masterpiece as well. Just think about when you're waking up in the morning, when you're laying in bed, just offer this couple of affirmations and then feel your way into your day. Start thinking about those three most important tasks that you have for the day and think, how do I want to feel after they're done? Don't worry about visualizing really complicated things that maybe you're learning and you're in the beginning phases of this. Just feel your way into your day and think, how do I want to feel at the end of that meeting, at the end of that phone call, that virtual meeting, the email that I'm sending out, whatever it may be. And then at first you'll be surprised that you did feel after the meeting's over, and that meeting went the greatest that any one of those meetings has ever gone for you. And after a while, you won't be surprised. So let's feel our way into our day. And it all boils down, Mikey, to me, again, for all of our listeners, again, just think 95 or probably 98% of our fellow brothers and sisters, there's two ways of looking at the world. There's a fork in the road, and you can look at it one way or the other. You can look at it that you are a physical being in a physical world, or that you're a thought being in a thought-based world. My suggestion to you that the 95 to maybe 98% of our fellow brothers and sisters are having challenges with health, wealth, happiness, and their life's not going nearly as well as they would like it to. I just offered a suggestion to think of it that you are an eternal spiritual being living in a thought world within a perfect and infinite thought universe. And this thought universe, Mikey, is all structured under perfect and infinite universal laws. It runs like the greatest, largest Swiss watch on earth. So that's where we're coming from today. That's the perspective. You're an eternal spiritual being with a perfect spirit, a perfect spiritual DNA, and perfect spiritual spark. You don't need anything else. You've got everything that you would possibly want to be able to be successful. I talk, Mikey, a lot about, reading a page in a book every day. It's really looking at the book. I read, Mikey, easy over 100 books. It may be hundreds of books on this topic. And it's very easy to get confused. So I say focus on Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, the focus on my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. And after you learn this, and after you get your system down, after you are proactively manifesting the dreams and wishes of your life, then feel free to go out and further explore, etc. Again, this is all based off of Think and Grow Rich. This book has been purchased by over 100 million of our fellow brothers and sisters, been read by over 300 million of our fellow brothers and sisters. This book has created more millionaires than any other book that I know of on earth. And that was last generation, 100 years ago. And this is where we're going forward. And not just, Mikey, about money, because a lot of folks do want to manifest in that wealth category. But this is about health, about happiness, about relationships, about living a healthy, happy, well-fulfilled life. A lot of individuals that I coach, they just want to get to a certain level where they don't have to worry about money as much. And a lot of other things are more important to them. So it's just not about money. Now, Mikey, there's been a big breakthrough recently. And there was a woman actually from Kenya who told me that she named it. So I'm giving her credit for it, but she called it the Papi Effect. And I would just offer again, I make suggestions to our listeners that there's been a tremendous uplift in vibration and frequency for individuals listening to my book. So my book, the audio book, just dropped on Audible about a month ago or so. And I would just suggest, if you can, purchase the book on Audible. It has nothing to do as far as I get maybe $1 off of these things, the books, when they get sold. So it's not a financial thing for me. I want to help my fellow brothers and sisters and listen to the book. I have individuals listening for like an hour. Just listen in the background. You don't even have to actively listen to it. Listen in the background, maybe while you're at your desk. The most powerful is listening right before you fall asleep, and maybe still listening while you are sleeping. The universe says mid-morning can be powerful for you as well, mid-afternoon, evening. We're all on different cycles, but especially when we're closest to the subconscious mind, especially right before we fall asleep at night, and just start to raise your vibration. So if you can sort of get a free lunch, Mikey, on just by listening to something, even passively, and that can elevate your vibration, elevate your frequency, that is tremendous. But the individuals who have told me that they have manifested, they've got the house of their dreams, the car of their dreams, the job of their dreams, it's just event after event after event that's been manifested. And she said her life changed dramatically. Like, she got caught in an upward wind tunnel going up through like a skyscraper elevator to a higher elevation, a higher vibration within 4 days after she first met me. We were talking. So just want to put some positive vibrations out there and ideas for our fellow brothers and sisters. And some folks have said that it's very powerful as we're listening to it and are also looking or reading it, but try to stay in contact every day. There's a lot of negativity, and we want to be proactively positive in visualizing with emotion our goal, being in gratitude, and taking action. So thank you so much, Mikey, for setting up the beginning so well. Thank you.
Like, congratulations on your Audible book. I think that's wonderful. And I think it's great too that now, like, there's no excuse that you don't always have to have that physical book in your hand. Like, whether you're commuting to work or you're driving someplace, like, you could put that on, you can listen to that, because there's so much negativity coming through on the radios and the news, and to have that book right there that you can listen to at any time. I just think that that's great. And the other thing that I love that you said too is about how you are the artist of your day. Like, I love that you can wake up and you already have the tools to create whatever kind of day you want to have. And you make it a magnificent day, and you imagine anything that you want it to be, and you can create that. And I just love that because, like I said, with so much negativity coming in at us all the time, it's just awesome that you provide that positive message. And now with your book, your Audible book, not only do you have that, but you could also get a weekly email from Papi. And he has 2 concepts to live by that he sends to your inbox directly. And I think that's great, because you open up your email, there's a lot of junk mail in there, there's a lot of messages from work, but you have that one email coming to you with 2 concepts to live by. And I think that's great. So we send that to everyone on our mailing list. And the more you read these, the repetition's your key to manifesting. So you can listen to these, watch these as many times as you want in order to get that message. So, Pap, you want to tell us a little bit about those concepts to live by?
Sure, Mikey. And I appreciate, since the last time we got together, there's a few in here. So I'm just going to maybe pick 2 so we can stay on our time schedule. But thank you for helping keep me on task here. And you did say the key word, Mikey. It is repetition. If we think you're getting, the average human being has up to 60,000 thoughts per day. Everything that comes at you, family conversations in person or on the phone, emails, whatever it may be, music, everything, coworkers, everything around you, social media, the radio, internet, searching online, whatever else it may be, you're getting bombarded all day long. And most of those messages, if you start to take a look at, that you're engaging with, are on the negative side of the fence. If you just said it's either positive or negative, most of those you would define easily as being negative. So be very careful. The other thing I was going to mention, Mikey, that I forgot earlier was that we're getting, whenever you said about booking Pappy to speak, we're making tremendous inroads. I'm giving a presentation next week. It may end up being 2, but it's going to be a total of 120 students, about 4 hours outside of Nairobi, Kenya, in Nakuru, I believe is the town. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. But it's going to be with a school teacher there, 13, 14, 15-year-olds that I've got to meet. I have another presentation coming up in a couple weeks in an inner city not-for-profit group in Cleveland. There's been some larger organizations as well. We're getting started with a group out of Liberia, Africa, and I've got a meeting next week with a group from the Philippines. So this message is universal: South America, Central America, Africa, Europe, Philippines, the Far East, far in between. So not just here, but with the wonders of modern technology and virtual meetings, Mikey, we can literally reach out to anyone. So thank you for sharing it with the audience. I'm just thinking, Mikey, on the ones we have for today, I'll just pick 2 and we'll review the other ones on our next webinar workshop as well. But I would just think on the first one I would look at is our mind, because it's so important. That's one of the messages we sent out the last couple of weeks on concepts to live by. And our mind, again, when I ask the average individual, what is your mind? 99% of them tell me, well, Pappy, I think it's my brain. And you've heard me say before, our brain is no more of our mind than our nose or our toes. Our mind is 3 elements working together: our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, and our body. So I talk about drawing a large circle around our head as far as your finger will go, and then put a horizontal line across that, put a C in the top for conscious mind, an SC in the bottom for subconscious mind, and then a circle maybe about a third of that size down where your body's at. Just a couple lines up on each side for your arms and your hands, and a couple lines down for your legs and your feet. So that is your mind, and it is how you take in spirit, power, and energy down into and directly into you, and how it flows through you. Everything starts, Mikey, with our imagination. So I think up here, materially up above our head, where our conscious mind is at, we're thinking, and you get to use your imagination, Mikey. No one tells us. We all have one thought in our head per time at a moment, and no one tells you what that thought is. You get to pick that. You have creative power within you, which is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. Use your imagination, identify your want and your goal. Bring your want down into your conscious mind. If you want it bad enough, it comes into your subconscious mind as a desire. If you desire bad enough, it will start to, your subconscious mind is your feeling mind. Your conscious mind is your thinking mind, and you will generate vibrations around that. The number one law for the universe, Mikey, is the law of energy. Every single thing on earth, mountains, stones, pavement, rocks, trees, solid wood objects, anything that looks solid, if you look at it under a microscope, is vibrating. So law of energy really starts everything off, and it's about how we direct and use energy in our lives. So this flows through us. The vibrations come out of us. And just like I talk all the time, these vibrations that come out of us, are you sending out the highest vibration for your best life, a vibration that's above average, just an average vibration for an average life, below average, or sending a real low vibration for your worst life? And I equate it to making a phone call on your cell phone. How high do you want to hold your cell phone? You want to send out the highest vibration possible and align with that world. As Albert Einstein said, what I just described right there, what Albert Einstein summed it up and said, this is not philosophy, this is physics. So learning to use our mind, and I spend a lot of time in my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine, discussing that. That's really what the whole book is about. Then the other one, Mikey, I would just like to touch on today would be methods of manifesting. And the methods of manifesting on my Vega coin, and I'm adding, actually upgrading on the back, VEGA. It's going to be VEGGA. The universe says to add gratitude because it's actually absolutely imperative to everything. So the methods for manifesting, in my book, I've got 15 key ingredients, because that's one of the most common questions I get asked, Pappy. How do I do it? What are the steps? Give me some idea. I've never heard of this before, whatever have you. So if you just take what I think are the 5 top most critical steps, VEGGA, visualize with emotion. And again, emotion is the yeast that raises the dough. If you think about, if you're at least sending out an average vibration, you're on a pathway to your average life, just an average life, not above average, not spectacular, your average life. What raises that? What raises that to an above average life, to an above average life, to your best life, are the emotions that you're putting out. We human beings read this without any conversation. The conversation of the universe, Mikey, is non-verbal non-linguistic. The universe communicates through non-verbal, non-linguistic. Our thoughts are already there. People are picking up other people's vibration, other people's frequencies, picking it up all the way across the globe instantaneously. It's like the strongest, most powerful cell phone you could ever imagine. That's how we're communicating with each other before a word is even spoken. So being able to use this to your advantage. Again, the simplest way for, in the interest of time today, visualize with emotion your goal, and you have to identify a goal. I spent a lot of time on that, on identifying your goal, and then you do that in gratitude. I would say, Mikey, if we gave one quick, easy thing to do, gratitude would probably be the most powerful thing that any of our fellow brothers and sisters can do starting right now today, just to be in gratitude. So the universe says that all of our prayers are answered, all of our affirmations are answered, all of our goals are answered, and all of our 10x goals are answered. The only way we can manifest anything we can imagine, as long as it doesn't interfere with a lesson for the reason we came here. And that's a rare case, but I feel compelled to mention that. So we can manifest anything we can imagine. So if you just start in gratitude, that elevates any of those lines I was talking with you about up to a higher level. So you want to give gratitude because you're going to feel your way into your day. And after that meeting or that virtual meeting or that phone call that went spectacularly well, you want to give massive gratitude after that. What as above, so below, whatever we send out is what comes back. It's an equal relationship. The more gratitude you have for a great event in your life, the universe is going to keep on sending things like that back to you. If you're not grateful, you're making it a one-way street. It's not going out. It's not coming back. You'll get it one time and it's not going to repeat. There is no downside in being grateful for what you have. You can start off with everything around you in the room that you're in, the clothes on your back, the food on your table, the roof over your head, whatever is even in the room around you, where you live, whatever it may be, the job, your career, whatever it is, be genuinely grateful, be humble, and be genuine, and give gratitude. And Mikey, gratitude is the easiest thing that we can do as human beings that will elevate us the most in the shortest period of time.
Wow, Pappy, that's a lot of information. And that's so true. I think that everybody can be grateful. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. Somebody always has a reason to be grateful. It doesn't take 2 minutes just to say what you are thankful for every day. And that just goes so far. And that's such an easy way to start, just by being grateful for something that you have. And just like with anything in life, we're always trying to get better, whether you play sports or you're on a basketball team, whatever you want to do. And when you do that, you want to get a coach. And I think that you are an awesome coach. Like, you are teaching us how to do these things. And I think that's so important. And you're reaching out globally and you're reaching out to our youth. And that's where it all starts, with the youth and working up and just manifesting from the ground up. And I think that your coaching tips that you have for us can make us all a better person. And you're really
Mikey,
good
one
at
thing that just came
manifesting a
through.
lot.
I'm sorry, Mikey. One thing just came through me whenever you were saying that was that the universe wants me to remind our fellow brothers and sisters is, and I know your mind works like this as well. When I was talking about gratitude, so I'm more visual or more verbal. Well, a lot of our fellow brothers and sisters, I know, Mikey, from talking to you, sometimes writing things out like in a journal or what have you could be more powerful. So that's
That,
what you just reminded me of. So thank you for sending that through. Is that
yeah,
so? Mikey was saying when you're waking up in the morning, even if you just have a journal next to your bed and you just wake up and you just write out 3 items, 5 items, just things that you're grateful for leaning into your day, write those down. That could be very powerful. So for some of our fellow brothers and sisters, writing that out, what they're grateful for, 3 or 5 or maybe 10 items in the morning when they wake up, could be more powerful, more beneficial than visualizing or verbalizing those items. So thank you for the reminder on that, Mikey.
yeah. Actually, I do that every morning. At least 3 things, that everybody can find at least 3 things in their life that they're grateful for. So I just think that is so important, and that's the first step to manifesting. So being grateful, like you said.
Very powerful.
And again, like I said, to be better in life, you want to have a coach. And I think that you're an awesome coach, and you're here to help us manifest the law of attraction with some of your coaching tips. Do you want to start there and give us some tips?
Yeah. Yeah, Mikey, and it's all about the message. And that's what I'm here for, is to deliver the message that the average human being has phenomenally more ability and more power than they could ever imagine. And that's what I'm here for, is to get you to remember and to teach you and show you how to do this, to elevate your life and be able to attain the dreams and wishes that you would never even think are possible for you to attain at all, that are easy within your reach if you start to approach this as a thought world within a thought universe. So thank you so much for that, Mikey. The next one on the affirmation, and I recommend doing affirmations on a daily basis. There's no more powerful force in the universe than auto suggestion or suggestions. So suggestions that come into our subconscious mind, and we need to be careful. You hear me say all the time, if you're talking to a family member, if you're listening to the news, if you're on social media, if you're online, you're watching something streaming, a movie, whatever it may be, and it is not in tune with your worldview, with your desires, your goal, your vision, etc., with your goal that you're working on, you want to cancel or reject it. I cancel. I reject it. I cancel and affirm the opposite. I refuse to participate. I talk about flip the script affirmations. Take whatever it is that you'll never be successful because you were born in a certain country, let's say. You'll never be successful because you were born in a certain country. If you hear that, you say, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm going to be phenomenally successful because I was born in the name that country. The top one also I remind everyone is when you start to understand how the universe works, you will also start to say on top of rejecting and canceling, when something comes at you and you're at that fork in the road, that I can either buy into this negativity or I can stay and live in universal truth and be positive. You'll say, I am never giving up my heaven on earth. I am never giving up my heaven on earth. It's always only you versus you. It's always only you versus you. You are your only problem and you are your only solution. So customize your affirmations. They always start off with, I recommend, I am so happy and grateful now that, and then just customize that. Now, my book, I've got the last two chapters are dedicated to affirmations. So I recommend that can give you some ideas to take a look at those. The one I wanted to share today is I am so happy and grateful now that I form a clear and definite thought form and mental image of the goal and thing that I wish to have, to do or become. And I hold this mental image in my thoughts and in my mind, all while being deeply grateful to universal intelligence as my desires and goals are manifested and granted unto me over and over again. And I use the word in here also, Mikey, for the audience, universal intelligence. I'll mention universal intelligence, universal subconscious mind, universal light, source power, source energy. My instructions are to stay as high as possible and as neutral as possible. Every one of our fellow brothers and sisters on our call today, on our workshop webinar today, Mikey, they know what the definition of the creator of all is to them. That's what you plug in when I say that. As I mentioned earlier, we're talking to individuals on continents across the globe. There are a lot of different belief systems. I don't want to offend anyone. I stay at the highest level, most neutral. Then you would just apply that and customize that to your own specific belief system.
I love that. And I love that, just when your repetition is key, and when you're writing in your gratitude journal, why not just write down your affirmation? I am so happy and grateful now that. It's only going to take a few extra minutes, and then you have that there in writing that you can look at and remind yourself all the time. So I think that's great. So thank you for
Now,
sharing.
Mikey, on that one, I was going to mention, on that one, that's a great point on the affirmations. For the first number of years, I would write out my affirmation, my number one 10X goal 50 times per day. And then with working things out with the universe to like get it as sleek and as acceptable as possible to work for our fellow brothers and sisters, I've been teaching for a while 333. So as you said, Mikey, write out your affirmation 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times in the evening, preferably before you go to sleep. And never miss an opportunity to apply emotion to your affirmation and visualization. So the more senses you can pull in, the better. But yes, writing that out 333, 3 times in the morning upon waking, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times in the evening, preferably right before you go to sleep.
That's great advice. I love that. And so now we got to the part of the show where our audience members get to submit some questions. And if you have a question, you could go to our website and click on the Ask Papi link at the top and submit some questions. But we have a few questions from our listeners that I'd like to get to and ask Papi and see what he has to say about them. The first question is, how can I visualize achieving my goal?
Yes, visualization. A lot of times, Mikey, our fellow brothers and sisters overcomplicate this, but just think that you want to start just visualizing like if you take a picture on your smartphone, just one snapshot of that event. So if you think someone's shaking your hand, they're handing you a key to your new car, they're handing you a check, you're at work, you're being recognized, whatever it may be. So you just want to think simply, just start off with basic snapshots. If that snapshot that you see on the screen of your mind comes to fruition, or when it comes to fruition, you would have achieved your goal. So visualizing, don't overcomplicate it. Now, identifying your goal, Mikey, that's what starts up above your head we talked about earlier. You want to use your imagination and you want to identify what you want. So your want is the genesis, the beginning of your goal. So what do you want more than anything? And go and look at your health, wealth, happiness, relationships, love, etc., and identify just one big 10x goal. And that is what you're going to be visualizing, achieving that. And you want to think about that as often as you can. You can think about when you do your affirmations in the morning, afternoon, and night. And one point I make about this, Mikey, with everything is one of the most common questions, at least the top 10 questions I get asked is, Pappy, how much extra time does this take per day? It does not take any extra time. You will live or die, so to speak, succeed or fail based on your habits. So what we're doing at the end of the day is we're slowly but surely removing bad information from our subconscious mind, our paradigm, and removing bad habits that flow through from those, and replacing good ideas and positive thoughts and including good habits. And I call it your daily ritual. So at the end of the day, Mike, you will have no extra time involved in being able to manifest anything you can imagine, because we're just merely replacing the time spent on bad habits with the same amount of time spent on good habits. But again, visualize with emotion your goal in gratitude and take action. Just be consistent. And it's all about the repetition. If you've had hundreds of thousands of negative suggestions that have come into your subconscious mind, the universe says we can manifest anything. It could be immediately the first day, but we don't know. We never ask if or how or when. It may be 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, but it is coming as long as you stay consistent and use the repetition in a high emotion. Your goal is on its way to you.
Awesome. And anything worth having is worth waiting for. So absolutely. The next question is, what are actionable steps to take towards my goal?
Yeah, the actionable steps, Mikey, this again is one of the most frequent questions I get asked is, Pappy, you talk in your book, I have 2 chapters devoted to action. One is action, and the next chapter is efficient action. So we are starting this whole process with our imagination and visualizing with emotion. And I say, Mikey, in the book, the way it's always come through to me is we're standing in a goal or goal line of a football field. And it could be international, what we in the U.S. would call soccer, which what they would call internationally football. And it's a very large, beautiful grass football field. We're standing the entire length of it, 100 or over 100 yards long. And when you start to visualize, you are starting to form that mold in the other goal, at the other goal line. You're starting to form that mold. And the more you visualize with emotion, with feelings, it's like it's on an assembly line, and now it's starting to move toward you. I always think it up above. Maybe it's like 10 or 20 feet off the ground, and it's moving toward me. Now, as it moves towards you, the more you visualize with emotion and with feelings applied to it, the content starts to get poured into that mold. Let's say it's a car. Let's say it's a new purse, a new dress, whatever it may be. It's starting to get formed as it comes to you. Now, it's going to come as long as you maintain that process along that assembly line, conveyor belt to about midfield. So it's there, Mikey. It's done. It's complete. The house, the car, the dress, the purse, the 4-year degree from a wonderful university, whatever it is there. But you're still here standing on this goal line, on this goal. Now that's where action comes in. Your action must meet your visualization that you've done with emotion, et cetera. So again, visualize with emotion your goal in gratitude and take action. So it's our actions, Mikey. And I quantify that to help our brothers and sisters with, I call TMIT, TMIT, your 3 most important tasks per day. I don't believe there's any more than six. So that's what I have in the book is SMIT, SMIT, for six most important tasks. When you sit down in the evening after you're done with dinner and you look at your next day that's coming up, you say, what are my most important tasks? And these aren't all work. It depends on which day of the week it is, but it could be a work day. Maybe three of them are work related and one's personal, whatever it is. And you know what those are. Those are your most important tasks for the next day. So it's not 22, it's not 155. It's three or four or five typically. So you know what those are. And it's all about you accomplishing those in an efficient manner and just doing that day by day. And when you sit down the next night, Mike, and do your review of that day and look back, how did I do on those three tasks versus this 10x version of myself that I have, this manifesting process that I'm working on for my goal to achieve my dreams and wishes, it becomes very obvious in short form, in short order. Hey, that first one that I had, I knocked it out of the park. That was an A plus. I was a 10x version of myself. The second most important task, I did pretty good. But you know what? Next time I'm in that situation, I'm going to make one change, maybe a little bit more of this, a little bit less of that. Maybe one of the other most important tasks was lacking. But the benefit is when you're looking at this, you're previewing it the night before, review it the night after. Again, this takes 5 minutes, Mikey, to do this. It becomes obvious within only a couple of weeks on what your actions are. And then, Mikey, those actions that you don't notice because you sort of have your head down and you're doing your three or four most important tasks a day. But what are you doing, Mikey, as you continue to knock these tasks out, these most important tasks, you're taking a step. You're taking another step. You're taking another step. Now, we don't know what the universe, Mikey, is it 5 days? Like I said, 5 weeks, 5 months, what have you. But before you know it, as long as you're accomplishing your most important tasks, you are at midfield. You've done your mindset work, Mikey, to get it right to you at midfield. Now you've completed the physical back of it. So everything, all of our listeners, Mikey, our fellow brothers and sisters want to understand everything in the history of the universe has been created twice. First, Mikey, in your mind, my mind, or one of our fellow brothers and sisters' mind. So first in someone's mind, and then the physical object back of it is completed. So we get it to midfield with our mind and with our actions and our efficient actions, we're completing the physical object back of it. Then we join it around midfield. Now, sometimes, Mikey, it's a little bit more towards the other side. It's a little more towards this side, but it's in or around that midfield. You can't just daydream and not take any action and manifest your dreams and wishes. There is action involved and efficient action, but meeting that at midfield. And one thing I mentioned, Mikey, I was just talking to a guy I was coaching the other day, and you have acceptance. So the first time you do this on a big goal, you're going to be right there. And it's almost like you just wake up in a dream. You've done your visualization with emotions and feelings, and it's there. Your physical body's there, and it's right in front of you. Don't drop it on the ground, so to speak. Accept it, grab it, embrace it. You deserve it. So many people, the first time, whenever they manifest, especially a bigger goal, and it's there, they can't believe it and sort of fumble the ball on the ground. Not that you can't regroup, or regrouping may take you 3 months or 6 months or a year or whatever to get back to that point. So know in your heart of hearts that you deserve it. And Mikey says, we went a little bit longer on the questions. Maybe we'll pick up there next time. And because I went just a little bit long on those first two. I didn't get to the third one.
Yeah, that's a lot of me. I love that the goal is the universe is friendly to all of us and they want us to have what we deserve, but you also have to work for it. And you gave us those steps to work our way towards that goal. And I just think that's great.
Yeah,
And
we all have an equal chance.
yes.
The spiritual spark, Mikey, that's in all of us, you, me, all of our listeners, all of our fellow brothers and sisters, it's a perfect spiritual spark. Our perfect spiritual DNA is exactly the same with all of us, exactly the same. We all have exactly the same creative power that we've been blessed with. We all have an equal chance. We all have an equal chance to manifest. We all have the same perfect creative power within us. So any of our listeners, and I know we have, as I said, spread out a lot of different countries, you have the ability for where you're at now to 10x your life and take it where it's at. If you have $1, let's get it to $10. If you have $10, let's get it to $100. Let's start 10xing your life. Now, this could be with your health as well. This could be with relationships, with love, with your career, whatever it may be. But money is a little bit easier to explain with the math when it comes to 10xing.
I love that. There's nowhere to go but up, right? So
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yes.
And also along with if you're like me, like I like to have something physical in my hand and you have your book, Manifest Anything That You Can Imagine. then not only can you look at it, you can listen to it, you can read it, but you have what I like about the book is that you can go page by page and you can see that each chapter begins with some quotes by famous people, some quotes for yourself. And I like, even if you just focus on one of those quotes a day, it's really going to go for a long way. So if you want to talk about one of the quotes in your book, that would be great.
Yeah, Mikey, it's you're you're like you're like knocking it out of the park today. That is one of the comments I've got from a couple of our fellow brothers and sisters just the last week. There's one gentleman that tells me, I talked to him from time to time. He's like, Pappy, I love your book. I've read it numerous times. He said, I just didn't realize how small I was thinking. I've been able to 10x a number of things in my life. He said, but I got to be honest with you. I've read the book from cover to cover a number of times, but I love just what you said there, Mike. He says, Pappy, I love going back and just reading these quotes and all these different people. Athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, scientists from all different walks of life, and to get their opinions as well as how they've been successful. And then the universe sent through for one of the future books, because I've got so many positive comments on these quotes that I may even be doing a book in the future on just quotes from start to finish from different fields. Because when I'm speaking to different groups, athletic groups, I'm making inroads with the University of South Florida and the University of Tampa. And when I'm talking to everybody thinks different, Mikey, and athletes think a little bit differently than maybe scientists do, than artists do, than musicians do. If you're in a certain country, you may think a little bit different because of your upbringing. So yeah, really customizing with those quotes. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, so the one that you picked out here, Mikey, was from chapter 6 in my book, Manifest Anything You Can Imagine. And it's tied into a number of Mikey's questions today. Thoughts are like pictures. They are powerful and they manifest your goal. They manifest your goal, these thoughts in your mind. And your thoughts and your pictures connected together and visualized like a short film will manifest your goal faster. Thoughts and pictures connected together and visualized with emotion, like a full-length motion picture movie, will manifest your goals fastest. That's one of my quotes in the book. And I've got individuals who just love reading the quotes, and they go back, they'll say, Pappy, instead of reading a whole chapter, I'll just read a quote of yours from 2 or 3 chapters in a row. So we know from feedback from our fellow brothers and sisters in the field, so to speak, Mikey, how positive that feedback is and how strong that is. So just another suggestion. We all think a little bit differently, but that may help some of you to be able to help you to manifest the dreams and wishes that you can only previously could have only imagined.
Fabulous. We talked a lot. We went from masterpieces to movies. So that's great. And time just flew, and we learned so much in this time that we got to spend together. So thank you so much for all of your information. And it was a joy to listen to you. We really had a great time. And again, if you're new to Papi Mindset Coach, be sure that you're signed up on papimindsetcoach.com to receive Papi's free educational emails and get access to upcoming live events conducted by Papi to help you manifest the health, wealth, happiness, love, life, and success that you desire and deserve.
That's a wrap for this episode of Manifest Anything You Can Imagine podcast. Keep those dreams big and your mindset unstoppable. Take one step today toward the life you're manifesting, because you can create anything you imagine. If you can think it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Visit papimindsetcoach.com for more resources and follow us at Papi Mindset Coach on social platforms for daily inspiration. If you love this episode, share it with someone ready to transform their life. Until next time, stay focused, stay positive, and keep on manifesting your best life. See you soon.